Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 12 of Direwolf20's Let's Play Dyson Sphere. I'm flying over to A-Crab 1 real quick. Hey buddy, how you doing? Just coming in for a landing, don't mind me. I'll crash right into that lava lake. Luckily my mech's pretty smart, he ain't gonna crash too hard. I need more titanium like nobody's business. It's none of your business, any of you, how much titanium I need. Alright, so that is not titanium. Let's follow our stuff. It's a little fuzzy, a little bit tricky to find your way around a planet sometimes. You know, once you land, you have to like kind of get your bearings because your camera can be in any orientation, right? So it's not like that easy sometimes to figure out where you're going. Luckily, you have a nice map in the bottom left that helps you out a little bit. But it can definitely be tricky. Let's grab all this titanium. And I mean, I'll grab a little bit of silicon too. Just because I can while I'm here. But I really, really want titanium. Now you'll notice my inventory is pretty empty, huh? I made it a point to, basically I placed a giant container, a storage container thing, in my world, on my home planet. I put everything in there, excepting for a little bit of extra fuel, just in case. I made sure my mecha's fuel chamber was nice and full before I got here. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to be a little bit safe. And we can also, like, you know, charge ourselves up a little bit by here. Oh yeah, look at that, 100% satisfaction. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So we don't have anything on us. No crafting capabilities at the moment. But the plan was, come to planet, collect titanium, profit, right? So I've got a little bit more titanium to grab before we head back. And then our goal should be... Oh wow, look how much titanium we have to grab. I bet there's a bunch in here that we can just snag if we really wanted to. That sounds like a pretty good plan. Yeah, that works for me. I mean, yeah, that works for me. Alright, back home. Whoosh! Taking off and leaving a planet is kind of the most fun for me. I love it. I love flying through space. I think it's super cool. Let's boost our speed up to a decent little clip here. 616 meters per second seems pretty good. Yeah! Not too shabby. Not too shabby. 700? Oh yes, now we're booking it. Oh look, there's a star, 11.72 light years away. That's another one, 18.04 light years. I can't wait till we can go interstellar. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff in this game. But first things first, we need to figure out what our next steps are. I mean, my first next step will be to land on this planet pretty hard. Boom! Boom! I'm glad that it doesn't super hurt to land on the planet nice and hard like that. Oh, out of power. Out of power. How's my satisfaction's pretty good. So check this out. Like I said, I should have... I'm going to put this here. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I got some storage containers. Yeah, I do. And then we can collect this. Now, I don't think I've quite yet told you guys that this exists, the Storage Mark II. It's exactly what you think it is. If you think that the Storage Mark II is just a bigger storage container, then you're 100% correct. You can stack them as well. Alright, let's put some titanium in here so we get more yellow research cubes. Remember last episode, we got those cooking. We've got a handful, obviously, but not a super good amount. Man, I got a little extra reds, huh? I don't know where they came from, but they're going here now. Sweet. Might not be a bad idea to collect some excess resources while I'm over and about flying. We're good on that. We could always use more of these, and we could probably, it looks like, use a few more of those. Okay, cool. Now, what else do we got here? We got a few things in my inventory, but yes, this should be cooking better now. I wanna grab a bunch of this titanium. I want to get as many yellow cubes as possible, because one of the first things we're going to want to get to is interstellar logistics, aka I want to be able to automate resources flying from other planets to this one, and I'm not quite sure how far away we are from that. I'm suspecting far-ish, right? I'm suspecting far-ish, but we're gonna investigate, right? So taking a look at our technologies here. Let's see, are you... yeah, so check this out. If we did this... see how much faster my thing's filling up? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Does that even need to be there? I don't know. Yes, apparently it does. You know what? It's this. That should make things happy again. Excellent. Alright, so let's take a look at technology, shall we? Interstellar logistics system is going to need a handful of things to unlock it. So we're going to need some high-strength titanium alloys. Okay. And then we're also going to need the better boosters, reinforced thrusters. These guys are the thrusters that we need for interstellar logistics. So we're going to queue that up. And then we need the interstellar logistics itself. Can I just add you to the queue? Or maybe I'll wait just a minute for the rest of the research to happen. So this shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be too long. And you'll notice the ratios on our cubes are much different. Like, this is basically 10 to 1 on blue and red versus yellow. So we don't need a ton of yellows, but we definitely need enough to keep things cooking, right? Now, are you guys just having, like, transfer problems here? Yeah, apparently you are. So let's upgrade all these bad boys. And hopefully that'll be enough to get the top rungs of this thing filled up. I think it will be. Hey, there we go. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. So titanium alloy is going to be one of the first things we're going to want to automate here to get interstellar logistics ready. So let's plan for that. If we're looking at... let's land so we're not wasting our fuel while we're looking at resources. But it's basically titanium, steel, and is that sulfur? Yeah, it is. Okay. So that's fair. So we need some steel, which is easy to make. And we're going to need titanium, which I'm thinking we're going to want to have up here. And then we're going to want this stuff, right? Sulfuric acid to make the titanium alloy. So is there iron nearby? There's tons of iron nearby. So what we could do is ratio out how many sulfuric acids we're going to need per titanium alloy, and then make our steel right here and get our titanium from somewhere else, right? So that could be a good plan, I think. That could be a good plan. So let's plan that out. You should be able to copy and paste right like that. And then I'll be ready for this. And what I'm thinking is we'll do something like this. Does that sound cool? Looks good to me. Getting all the things you need? No, because you also need some oil here, which we can make happen like this. You ready? Boop. Boop. And then if we need another one to sit here, we can make that happen. And if we need even more than that, we can just move our waters over to the left, and we'll be fine. Cool. I think that works. Reasonably well. Reasonably well. Alright, so while I wait for this to go, I'm going to cook up a few more of these bad boys. Okay, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright, high-strength titanium alloy is complete. So that is produced in what? High strength titanium alloy. Is it a smelter or where is it made? Smelting facility. Okay. So let's get one of those placed, and then we'll just get an idea of, you know, what we're looking at here with regards to high strength titanium. Was it smelting? Arc smelter? Yeah. No? Am I crazy? Yep, there it is. Cool. Alright. So let's just, let's start, and again, mostly just kind of being a little bit, you know, testing here. I'm gonna manually put some titanium in. Give me just a little bit of titanium from here. You keep making your yellow cubes, though. I'm very happy with you. And hopefully I've got some steel on me? I do. Alright, so you're making 4.5 of these per minute. Okay? 4.5 per minute. You know, assuming enough power. Which, you know, we're struggling for. But we're hovering around 4.5 a minute. I wonder if that's going to be better once power is better. If I paused you, would power be better? Can't believe I'm still having power problems. I mean, I can believe it. I can believe it. Because I haven't done anything to solve it yet. But I'm so amped to get into interstellar logistics, but I really should look at doing, like, more solars, or maybe, like, another batch of, coal-based power plants, or even just, like, burning some of our refined fuel, because boy do we have a lot. Boy do we have a lot of refined fuel that we could burn up. You know, it's kind of foolish of me to not be cooking this stuff right now. Alright, you and you. It's around 5 per minute if we hit our 100% power. Yeah, so expect 5 per minute. Now it needs, holy cow, 8 sulfuric acid to make. 8 sulfuric acid. So if you're making 5 per minute, well, wait. Okay, but you get 4. Okay, hold on. Lots of math. Lots of math. You get 4 per craft. Alright, so you're making 20 per minute, right? But it's 5 iterations per minute. So 8 times 5 is 40? Yeah. So we need 40 sulfuric acid per minute. And you're making what again? 10 per minute? But it crafts 4 at a time. So you're making 40 per minute. Okay, perfect. So it's 1 chemical plant to 1 arc smelter. Right? Is my math correct on that? I think it is. I think it is. 1 to 1 on these guys. Okay. So then we just need to bring steel and titanium up here, which shouldn't be too bad. Which shouldn't be too bad, I would hope. We'll see. Alright, let me think about how I want to do this real quick, and we'll be right back. So part of me is like, how about we just tap into this line? Okay. Because one of my future plans is to bring titanium up here. Like, I'd like you to request titanium, like 1,000 of it, and then that's going to route down to this guy eventually, right? But then we could also use that titanium for our alloy, right? And that could be cool. Now, I'm trying not to box myself into too much of a corner, but my plan is to eventually have many more planetary logistics stations. But for now, what we can do is we can, like, put some titanium in there, right? And you could export that and be ready to maybe... Because if I want to have more of these being made, which we'll probably need at some point soon, we're going to want to be able to expand this better. Alright, let's plan it like this. I'm going to run the alloy smelters for this probably around where I had them originally. So let's do it like this. I'm going to go with 2 alloy smelters, and what I'm going to do then is have you guys be like this. Now, you think I can sneak one more in here? I should be able to. And I shouldn't need you no more. Alright, so now you should be making that. So it's, remember, one of these to one of these. And then we're going to want you to be titanium and you to be titanium alloys. You'll both get importers for this. Okay. And then you're going to need iron and titanium. So I'm thinking the titanium can come from this direction. And the iron would probably come from this direction. Okay. So the titanium will loop around here. And remember, we want to set this to titanium output, but not yet. We will handle that in a minute once we're happy with the whole situation. Yeah, you can't put an angle on it. This looks like about right to me. Is that right? Nope. That's good. You can't curve it while it's going down. So, like, it has to be straight when it's going up or down. Okay? So then that'll be your titanium export. Let's resume this, by the way, so that we get research going again. And then, real quick, we can make a little steel miner here. He's saying need foundation support, but I'm sure I could swing this. Okay, now what we can do is put a little foundation here-ish without causing too much of a problem with our water pumps. Okay, and we'll do... something like that. Get a handful more smelters now. That should be fine. Now, remember, we have to smelt it into iron first. And then we have to turn it into steel, right? So what I might wind up doing, I'm going to remove that altogether. Let's figure out what ratio we want to do this in. Right, so you're making 60 per minute at optimal speeds, with power being good, right? So you're making 60 per minute, 1 to 1. All right, now to smelt steel, we just need a little bit of iron. You're going to make 20 per minute, but you need 3 iron. So it's 1 to 1. Okay? So then what I'll do is something like this. And then we can decide if we're going to want more. But you guys should both be steel now. Copy, paste. Okay. So then your deal will be... And notice, like, what type of things I'm using here, right? What type of sorters. Because we want them to be pretty quick at inserting, right? But that should be cool. Now you should be good to go 1, 1, 1, 1. And this should be relatively expandable. And then from here... And then let's get like 3 stacks of them. So if my math is correct, everything should be perfectly balanced at this point. I'm going to remove that guy. And they should run at 100% efficiency, right? Because by the time they're ready for another batch of steel, they're going to get enough steel. Because they need 4 times 5. They need 20 steel per minute times 2, right? We need 5 per minute, so 20 per minute on steel. And you're making 20 per minute. Wow, that's perfect. Wow, that's perfect. So we are literally making exactly what we need. It's 1-to-1 again on these guys. So the ratio is 1-to-1 iron to steel, 1-to-1 steel on this, 1-to-1 of these to this, and then obviously just a whole bunch of titanium, which we don't really have a ton of right now, but we will be getting more of. Cool. All right, so that's step 1 of automating towards interstellar logistics. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. You know, I'm just going to grab a bunch of titanium. You need a lot of titanium, as I think we're learning, right? I think we're rapidly learning that titanium is going to be a big deal here. And look at that. Boom. Now we've got a bunch stored there. And he should be sending a bunch of titanium this way so that we make a bunch of titanium alloys. Good deal? All right, let's look at fixing our power situation real quick. Because, you know, it's a thing we need to do. A nice way to solve this problem, I think, would be to just have a remote... We could either do it with an oil vein, right? So we could tap into one of these crude oil seeps over here, pipe the hydrogen and refined oil into some you know, smelter things. Or... I just want to see what I don't have. Yeah, let's get some resources. Let's set up a remote coal burning area. Hey, look at that. Research complete. Logistics vessel engine. The reinforced thruster, and now you can use logistics vessels to realize the transformation of resources across planets. So does that mean interstellar logistics is unlockable now? Well, let's just see. That, and that is what we need to make interstellar logistics. I think we're going to be able to pull this off, actually, very soon. So let's get the research going, and while we're doing that, get fuel solved, right? So one thing we're going to want to do is fill this in a little bit. And then let's, like, hyper quick see if we can't get a bunch of stuff ready to roll here. So I'm going to do everything I can to tap into as many fuel veins as possible. That should be enough. And then remember, we want to go east and west. So if that's the North Pole up there... now there's a couple, you know, crude oil seeps up here that we may eventually want to tap into. So let's plan down here where there's nothing. What we'll do is we'll say, like, this is the vein... This is the line that we want to use for processing all this stuff. Okay? Now what I like to do is I like to have basically split... And then we can do this. Okay, and then I can connect that in and this in. And then we'll do the same. We're going to need a few more of these. Oh, wow, am I out of gears? I guess I'm low on gears. Well, I haven't been really using much... Let's see, is that cool to do? And then... that. So you see how I'm setting this up? Basically, I've got Mark II belts connected to 3 of the miners, and then the main miner has a Mark III belt, and then the main line is all Mark III belts, so that everything kind of comes together nicely. Okay. See how that all works out nice? So that's how you build around and make sure everything's good. Now we want to do a quickie little bit of power generation going on. So what I'm going to do is have enough of these. So what I'll do is set this up. And I kind of want to play with blueprints a little bit just to see how well this will work out. But let's, you know. So I'm going to configure you for energized graphite. Cool. Now I may not need to do blueprints for this particular setup if I'm right about how this works. So that should be good. I might want these to be Mark III belts, but we'll find out. And because we're making power, we want to be as efficient as we can on power, so I'm going to use Mark 1 sorters here. Because that's really what matters from a power perspective. Cool. So let's do Mark 3 belts from here. And then I'm going to loop them around the back. And that should be cool beans. Now, I'm going to copy you across. And I'm going to copy you across. And that should put everything where it's supposed to be. Does that sound cool? Man, look how great that is. Now, let's make sure that that's nice. We're going to want to have some power plants. And I'm going to start with a high speed, and then the remaining will be medium speeds. Is that cool? Now I'm assuming that that's cool. Now let's try and copy and paste these guys. Let's make sure we get that sorter in there, if we can. What I should be able to do is, like, remove... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Control-C, do this, but remove the belts. And then... collide with another object. Okay, that should be cool. That's feeling pretty good, huh? Alright. Now, all these things have their own kind of power radius, so we should be in really good shape with generational capacity now. That feels really nice. And if we decide we need to expand this, we definitely can. There's ways absolutely to expand this. But that feels really quite nice to me. We could sneak one more on here, right? That's a collide, but this shouldn't be. Hey, Interstellar Logistics System is complete. That is what's up, my friends. And that's like a nice little... It's just going to sit there and make a ton of power, right? That should hold us over for a bit, right? 106 megawatts of power. Now, that's a limited resource, let's not forget. Like, we will run out of coal there eventually. So that's a thing to keep in mind, right? Absolutely a thing to keep in mind. We will eventually run out of fuel there. Let's get 200-ish of these. That should be fine. So now we should be good for interstellar logistics? Maybe? Does that seem like a thing we can make? Can we make a pair of interstellar logistics? That would be really cool. Let's check it out. That would be in here. So we need some of this titanium alloy, which we are making. We can make one of these, and now we're short on titanium to make any more. I'm sure we can get some. I have a little bit of titanium left over here. So that's going to make the basic logistics, right, which is the planetary one, and then it's going to, once that's crafted, use it to upgrade to the interplanetary one. Sweet. All right, cool. Now the other thing we need is the drones. which is under the components section. It's these guys. Logistics vessels have a carrying capacity of 200 each. Also upgradable, by the way. So if we take a look at our upgrades, logistics carrier and capacity, this is logistics drone, and vessel. So tier 3 of the carry capacity is when you can start upgrading the vessels, and that gives you plus 100, and then another 100, and then another 100, and then another 100, and then 200, and then finally 200 infinitely, I think. No, not infinitely. That caps out. But speed is infinite. Okay. So that's cool. Good. So let's see. Do we have the stuff to make that? Apparently, yes. I wouldn't mind automating reinforced thrusters, but that's going to be 2 disparate items that are very far apart from each other. So we're probably going to want to set up logistic stuff to make that happen. But we should be able to pull that off. So how am I for these guys? I'm going to get the 200 of those that we want. I should be able to tap into this. Let's see, how am I for that? Give me like 200-ish of those. What I would love is auto-stocking of stuff. Alright, so can I make 10 of you yet? No, I'm probably low on the titanium alloy. I want to have about 10 of those. That'll do. So we're going to craft by hand at this point the 20 engines that we'll need, the reinforced thrusters, and then those will go towards making the logistics carriers. So we don't quite have time in today's episode to get this set up, but let's plan to come back next episode. We will set up an interstellar logistics system whose job it will be to carry titanium and silicon from our first planet in the system to this one. Who's excited for that? I hope you are, because it is super cool. That's 100% what we'll be doing next episode. For now, though, it's wrapping up point. Darwell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I might do a few upgrades in the interim. Like, I wouldn't mind a new mecha core. For just 300 of everything, I can get a little bit more max energy. And then while I'm at it, I could get a little bit of more, run speed. Maybe another inventory capacity would be nice. We'll see. Communication controls, energy circuits. I think... But that's going to need 1,200 yellows. I want to hold off on that just yet. We're not super good on yellows just at the moment, right? But having a little bit more of an energy buffer will be nice. And then prep me for doing some more stuff. I mean, we're good on this, but just not great yet. Wrapping up point. Darwell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time. Interstellar logistics is a go. We are literally ready to plant down this giant interstellar logistics system and start flying resources between planets, which means no more manually flying to my inner planet to collect silicon and titanium. All right, guys, take it easy.